closer to mine, huh? All right, Levi, I'm going to sit my chair right where you are. Thank you. All right. So this entire week, we've already discussed this a couple of times today. What's our focus? Hudson?
About frogs.
We're learning about frogs. What else about frogs do you think we'll learn about? What do you think, Rachel?
Where they lay their eggs.
Okay, where they lay their eggs. Logan, what are you thinking?
And poisonous frogs.
Thank you for using your hands.
Glass frog.
Oh, the glass frog. We did talk about him this morning. Mitchell?
I think that we're going to do all different kinds of frogs.
All different kinds of frogs. All right, Kira, what are you thinking? Where they live, maybe their habitat. We talked about that word. Can I take that for you? Desiree?
About poisonous frogs.
Ooh, maybe poisonous frogs is kind of
The poison dog, we're going to every frog and every toad.
Ooh, every frog and every toad? That might be difficult. Do you know how many there are? Well, we can find that out this week.
50 million. More than 500, 5,000.
Maybe we should Google that. You know, we did a KWL. Do you guys remember that was our what we know about frogs? What we want to know about frogs. And then on Friday we'll do a what we learned about frogs. And you guys had so many things you already knew about frogs. Can you put your hands down for just a minute, boys? You guys already had so much information, and I thought, oh my goodness, I wonder if I'm going to be able to teach you guys anything new. And I found a few things that I thought, instead of doing sit down and do worksheets or something like that, I thought we'll do some centers. But I have a story to share with you first. I'll show it to you. It's called Frog Girl. It kind of gives it away. What do you think it's going to be about?
Oh, frogs.
Evan, thank you for raising your hand.
A girl that's a frog.
A girl that's a frog? Maybe. Let's see, what other ideas? Desiree.
A girl that has a frog.
A girl that has a frog. Okay, Camilla.
A girl that likes frogs.
A girl that likes frogs. This, put your hands down.
A girl who likes
We will have time after this story to have let everybody share. But for right now, I want to show you guys, this is actually a Native American story. It's a written history, and it's. Are you ready, Gage? Devlin, I have a wonderful story to share with you. Are you ready? This story is from Native American people, but they're not the Native American people that we find in Montana. These are actually, this story is from a Native American people group that we would find in Washington and Oregon, right on the coast. And if I say they're right on the coast, what does that mean that they live by? Britton?
the ocean.
Ocean. And you know what? Lots of different things happen by the ocean. And I want you to try to figure out what's happening, like what could be happening during this story. Do you guys, we were talking about oral histories of our Native American Indians in Montana. Does anybody remember that story? Gage?
Our other Native American story.
We just recently read.
It debated.
Remember, we've learned. Somebody asked me a question about it.
That was me. That was me that asked the question.
Oh, do you remember the title of the book?
I don't remember the history of the bitter.
Somebody just said it. The story of the bitter root?
Yeah,
Is that what you're thinking, Mitchell?
I asked the question.
You know, somebody asked me, I think it was Evan, he goes, is that story true?
That was me.
Was that you? And you know, it's interesting, these books that have these Native American stories, they're called their written histories. And you know, sometimes they're called oral histories because before they had ways to write them down. How did they spread these stories? Hudson?
They would
Maybe, yeah. What would they use to tell those stories? Evan?
pictures.
Pictures, right? Mitchell? Also, is there another way you can think of?
Or their mouths.
They will probably tell their stories just like this. You know, Dave Spangle, when we saw him on Friday, he didn't use his book to tell it, did he? He had his entire story. It was all right up here, and he shared it with you verbally. And so those stories are passed down, and now we have those histories engaged right with us in these books. So I'm going to take a few minutes. Let's move it, okay, till the
I
end.
found a frog.
Let's take a few minutes. I want you to think about what's happening,
What?
and then we'll discuss the book when we're done.
I found a frog up in the... I found it first. I
Don't
found it.
respectful voices, please.
Everybody found it.
When you are ready, I will be ready. Frog Girl by Paul Owen Lewis. Paul Owen Lewis also drew every picture. He
Hey,
illustrated
that's my
every
middle
picture.
name. Gage Anthony Paul Ferrari.
Behind a certain village lay a lake full of frogs. The chief's youngest daughter often went there alone to listen to their songs. But today, as she approached, she heard no singing. She heard human voices instead. Quick, let's go. We have them all, said one. Now we are going to be great hunters too, boasted the other.
What is that?
When the two boys had left, she walked toward the lake, listening. At first all seemed quiet and still. Then close by a small voice said, "Sister, I am calling you." Who said that? Asked the girl, for she could see no one. "Here, I am here." The chief's daughter looked down to find a small frog in the tall grass. "Oh my, how is it you use human speech?" asked the girl. "I will show you. Follow me to the shore of the lake," said the frog. The girl did so, and suddenly it appeared as if a low door had opened before her. But actually, the edge of the lake had lifted up. She walked under it. At once, she found herself in a large, deserted village. A young woman was standing at her side. "You see, we live as you do," she said. "But where are the people of your village?" asked the girl. "That is what my grandmother wishes to ask you. This is her house behind. Come, this blanket is for you. We shall see her now."
That's an awesome village.
The house was bigger and more beautiful than any she had ever seen. Inside, the floor rumbled, and it was very hot. At the back sat a small and very old woman. She spoke, saying, "Granddaughter, I am alone. My children have been taken, and I no longer have their songs."
Well, that is because they're tiny. Where is she? Hey, that's rhyming. Where is she?
The grandmother? Sure, she may be behind.
Or she's maybe that frog in the statue.
You think?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you think you see her on this picture?
Oh, I see her. She's right there.
Well, I think that was the granddaughter
That
of the frog girl,
right.
right?
I think I see her.
Are you ready? Let's see what's happening on the next
Oh, yeah, I see her now. I see. She's right by the pot. She's right by the pot. Oh, now I see her.
"Do you know where my children are?" asked the old woman. "No, grandmother, but I have seen two boys with nets and baskets at the lake," answered the chief's daughter. At this, the old woman began to cry. "Oh, my children, where have they taken my children?" The fire grew hotter and the house began to shake.
I think when she's upset. I think she controls the house.
So you think you're
She's
thinking
the
when she's
heart of
upset?
When she's the boss of the village.
It's the heart of
No, when she's upset, the fire goes high and the house shakes.
So you think she has some power over the earth?
She's the boss now.
Let's read on, let's see what happens. Thank you for, I appreciate that you raised your hand, Evan, instead of their hand. But we're going to wait just a moment. "Quick, sister," exclaimed the young woman. "You must return to your own village. I fear something terrible is about to happen there." "But how?" asked the girl. "Close Close your eyes and think of the lake only. Do not think of this place. The girl did so. And there she was, on the shore of the lake again. But it was no longer still and quiet as before. Black smoke filled the air and thunder roared in the distance. Alarmed, the chief's daughter ran through the forest back to her own village.
Well, there's a pond to hold on to that.
Devlin, please raise your hand if you have a comment. But there was no one there. The volcano was erupting and the forest was on fire. Her village would soon be destroyed. The girl called into each house for anyone who might have stayed behind. No one answered until she got to the last house at the end of the row. But the voices weren't human. They were the voices of frogs instead, coming from a box in the corner. "Oh, my relatives, come, I'll take you home to your grandmother," cried the chief's daughter.
That would be scary.
Yes, Evan?
I think the lady frog, the one that
The great-grandmother?
I think she's Mother Earth.
Or
since she got mad at the volcano.
Oh, I'm hearing lots of voices and I'm not seeing very many hands. So you're thinking Mother Earth?
Or Mother Nature.
That's a good prediction.
Or Mother Nature.
Let's see. Copy. Eagerly the frogs slipped beneath the surface of the lake. "Farewell, my sisters and brothers. I must look for my own family now," said the chief's daughter. "Remember me to your grandmother." The girl returned to her village as a heavy rain began to fall.
Yes,
Many canoes were landing on the beach, for people were returning now that the rain had put out the fires. "Father, mother, I am here," she shouted as she ran to meet them. "Daughter, where have you been? What has happened here?" asked the chief. The girl told her story of the frog village, the old woman whose house shook with fire and smoke, and the capture of her children. "You see," she finished, "they are our sisters and brothers. We should treat them so." But it was becoming difficult to hear her. The frogs were singing again.
Also, was the frogs.
I know there's so many thoughts and comments about this, but what is going to be my expectation for us to share about this book? I want to see. All right. So the first thing I want to ask you is, somebody said that maybe the frog great-grandmother was Mother Earth.
Or Mother Nature. Which is me.
So I'm wondering, do you think that the frogs were important to this story?
Yes.
Raise your hand if you have a comment about that.
It was mine.
Devlin, what do you think?
She probably is Mother Nature because all the volcanoes usually never stop erupting, so all their flats are finished. But the volcano just started to erupt and then it just went.
And then it stopped. Did it stop before or after what?
Before
happened?
after she let the frogs go to the water.
Okay, so you think there was a connection to the eruption and the return of the frogs?
And I think that Mother Nature probably, it's never full when a species is extinct. Except for dinosaurs. Because they're already extinct before we were alive.
Thank you, Devlin. Kaya, what are your thoughts?
I'm just coming at it. When she asked, remind me of your grandma.
Are you thinking it clear?
I thought they were asking them to tell that their grandmother that she set them.
She said, hey, make sure you tell your grandmother, remind her I want you to think about the frogs, though. We're talking about frogs all week, and this story was so fun, I thought, because it had to do with frogs. Do you think that the frogs were important to the story, Logan?
The frogs were important to the story because frogs are special to the earth.
Okay.
Well, they can.
They can be special. Hudson, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, frogs. The frogs. They're green.
They're green, but why were they special to this story? Why wasn't it about beavers? Or maybe the bitterroot, because you know the bitterroot was very important to Native American people in Montana. Or the coyote is extremely important to the Plains Indians. Why would it be frogs, Hudson? Think about that. Mitchell, what are your thoughts?
Because frogs could be important to that tribe.
Mm-hmm. For sure. What are you thinking, Charlie?
I think because they are special because they like people that
Okay. Evan, did you have your hand up?
I think frogs are special because they can live for many, many years.
They can live for many, many years. I'm going to read you a part of the book one more time. You see, she finished, they are sisters and brothers. We should treat them so. But it was becoming difficult to hear her. The frogs were singing again. So after hearing that last line, why are those frogs so important to this Native American group?
Because they can.
I'm looking for a new hand. Who has an answer? Britton?
Because they are their brothers and sisters.
Are your brothers and sisters important to you? Do you think,
I have a good one.
what do you think would happen if somebody came in 3, 2, 1. What do you think would happen if somebody came and stole some of your siblings away? Do you think you would be heartbroken? Do you think great-grandmother was extremely heartbroken, wasn't she? And how did the earth react to her being heartbroken? Gage, how did the earth react, do you know?
I was gonna talk about
Yeah, don't
Go
hold your
down
thought,
to the
Bridget.
office and yes.
Hold your thought. How did the earth react to her mother being heartbroken, Evan?
kind of mad.
Yeah, what happened?
The volcano erupted.
All right,
It just remembered me about Caleb.
you'll have to wait. I would love to hear it, but I want you to put your hands down because I can tell we're about done. Hudson, put your hands down.
You said I didn't answer like I thought.
Yes, you can as soon as we break up into our groups. You can share it with me because I will be with you. All right, we have some really fun activities today about frogs. And I know we have so much information we want to tell about frogs. So I thought, why don't I break you guys up into groups, which I have up here. These are the groups you will be with all week long. But you know what? This story tells about frogs and how special they are to our ecosystem and to specifically this Native American group. And so you're going to go and you're going to break up into your groups soon and you get to investigate why frogs are such special animals. And frogs do have a very interesting life cycle. So you get to explore that a little bit and then you'll probably get to share towards the end of this week. So I have 4 different centers and at each center there is an I can statement. You guys know what I can statements are. Those are kind of like your instructions. So if you ever feel like, I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing at this center, right in the middle of your table, it says exactly what you're supposed to do. Okay? So the first center is iPads. I have a really neat application that I found that's all about frogs. And so we're going to give you guys about 10 or 15 minutes just to explore, learn some new things about frogs. And then at this particular center, you are going to identify and locate 4 different vocabulary words and find their definitions. At the life cycle, I have, Devlin, can you please stop? Thank you. I have several different ways you guys can play with the life cycle. I have little dioramas, and you can put them in order. I have little pieces of paper, like flashcards. You guys can put them out on the brown carpet if you're in that group. and you can put them in order that way. If you can't remember the order, there's these fantastic books called National Geographic Frogs, which I have one right here. I'll show you.
I'm top over the frog.
And just so you know, Mrs. Strauss was really nice to you. I put little tabs so it goes right to where you need to be. So if you're going to the life cycle, that little tab will take you right to the life cycle pages of this book, so you can use it as a resource. The third center is frog anatomy, and we're talking about frog anatomy today, and we're going to use our Reading Street story to help us with frog anatomy. And just like these tabs are saved, that the Reading Street book is bookmarked for you too, boys. Okay? And at that center, you get to label your frog and find his body parts.
Toads versus frogs.
And then the fourth one, yes, Gage, is toad versus frogs. We've been talking about Venn diagrams. Who remembers what a Venn diagram
I
is?
thought it was a book.
Evan, do you remember what a Venn diagram is?
Isn't it where you put two circles together and then you sort them?
We do. We're going to compare and contrast. What's that middle portion for?
Isn't it half a circle?
Devlin, do you know what the middle portion is for in the Venn diagram?
There's part with my hand.
Yes. What portion, what is that about?
Both.
That's right. Those are things that both toads and frogs will have. You'll stick them right in the middle. So these are just supposed to be exploration centers. I'm putting you guys together in groups. Do you think I want you to work together, or do you think I want you to work separately?
Together.
Together, and I want to see you cooperating. If you feel like you can give a friend support, wonderful. If you have some information, maybe you guys could work together to find some of this information. That would be great. So as I call you, I'm going to say, let's do center number 1. Center number 1 is iPads, and that's at the kidney table. Can you please walk your bodies over there? You will have to wait for one of us to come over to start the iPad, so just be patient, okay? Okay, please don't grab an iPad yet. Thank you. Center number 2 is the life cycle. You are over at the long table. You may get to work right away. Remember, your I can statements are right in the middle of the table. Center number 3, frog anatomy is right here. And center number 4 is right here.
Hey, can we go get
Grab another chair.
I think we're supposed to
Evan, will you set the chair down?
Oh, Charlie. Okay, guys. So, do we go cameras? These first. It does. Wait, I think the eyeballs are supposed to be A. So A. Oh yeah. But no one got it. Tabs. Okay, so let's do tab. And then can you guys share one? Okay, you can put that.
Is that what you were wanting to tell me?
No, but extra. Oh yeah, then like that. We forgot that. Oh no. And then frog. Yeah. And then frog. I was right on the test. I was right. I knew that. And now we're gonna put this one down here. Yeah. Now let's. So like that. No, let's sort that. Let's sort that. Everyone gets one of these. Yeah. That way it's fair. I want to put it. Who will put the eggs? They're all red. Where are they? Right here. We put them on top, so we know which ones they are. Is this a frog? I think it's a frog. I think it's a frog. Oh, baby. Alright. Let's do all the rest and stuff. Oh, yeah. So just have all of us. I'll take it. That was so hard. That was hard of Mrs. Strauss to do the eyes. Everyone gets a little bit of my voice. Yeah.
Cute. You're fine.
Hudson, why don't you go and grab 5 pencils for your frog? And not the pencils out.
I was going to remind you about your names.
There's fun little video in here. There's 3D interactives.
What do we do with
You
these?
can even do the life cycle. There's messages.
I need help. I see you. Video. I'm doing video.
Alright, so Logan, if I were you, I would start here.
I don't know.
Look at him. It tells you the body, so you can touch and drag. Or you could go to the video and you could listen to a video. Oh, you have to go to your first. Okay. I'm just going to pop around. I'll be back.
You're right. That is a lot of eggs.
That's more than 100.
There's erasers over in our basketball. Where's your tab?
I can't do that. I really
You're just using, I put tabs on here, so it's like a bookmark right here. This is going to help you fill in your diagram, comparing to
do toe tapping.
Oh my word, look at this group! Did you guys get started right away or what? Does it have it? He may not have any ears. Did you think about that?
I did it. I tried to get
I need another book. Oh, I have You have a blank piece of paper.
Guys, we're supposed to use this. We're supposed to use this. This one says we're supposed to. So that means Miss Miller was
Did you find the life cycle?
I'm not the You know that you can look at this to help
You can drag.
Yeah, I'm looking at I'll move that. I'm looking at pond.
Do you remember?
I'm drawing it sideways.
So you get to drag and drop it.
I forgot to put webbed feet. I forgot to put webbed feet. Oh yeah.
Did you get it in order?
Yeah. Eggs, tadpole, back legs, tadpole with front legs, frog legs. I lost my tooth.
You guys need to use this whole green one. So because I thought you had your picture was pretty large.
I lost my tooth.
I wondered if that's what happened. Why you're on the carpet, but I couldn't help you.
Oh, looks like a lady. Is it okay if that one?
Yes. You can do whatever you need.
Okay, it's going on. She's looking
So organized and intentional. Impressive.
See what happens? I know.
Way cool, huh?
If you guys are going to do the life cycle, I thought I would bring you so that if you need some resources, you certainly can. Did it work? It says okay.
Oh, you're doing
So now you
fashion way here.
Do you realize that? So now you can go back.
Two papers. Oh, yeah.
So how much time do you need on this? 30 minutes.
Can we switch centers?